Hello guys, and welcome back to the Let's Play some Minecraft. I'm on my tutorial world right now, where I am going to be showcasing you. I've been doing my OP Faction series, so I thought, what would be a good way then to show you, basically the basic type of faction bases that can really help you out, and that can really tell you. Now, I'm going to show you the pros and the cons of these bases. Yeah. Now, what the bases we're going to be covering is a farm base, a sky base, a sky vault, an underground base, and an underground vault. Now, I believe that this is the underground vault. No, that's the underground base. This is the underground vault. Should be. Yep. This is where the sky vault is. That's where the sky base is. That's where the farm base is. Now, I'm going to be showing you in the type of them that are in these orders, and yeah. So, let's begin. So, basically what we're going to start off first with is the sky base. Now, obviously, don't make a stone platform here. That's just going to go give away the position of the base. So, yeah. Now, that's the sky vault. Obviously, you're going to want to make it higher than that, because if you make it higher than that, then people won't be able to see it straight away. But another reason why I did that is that they basically have to go this high in order to see the base. Now, obviously that's not as high as that, because that one's not a sky limit, but make sure that your bases are at sky limit. But anyway, so here is what a sky base would look like. You have lots of chests, you know, I'm going in, doing fine. And, you know, a place where you can store all your stuff in. Now we can just get over the pros and cons real quick. So, pros, very hard to find. Because if you just put chests on, there won't be a shadow at the bottom where you could easily see the base because of shadows, just because it's just plain chests. Now, pros, very hard to find. You can store quite a decent amount of stuff in it. Another pro is that it can actually be pretty safe if you do it this way with trap chests and everything. And if you don't do it this way, you can actually easily fall or take people off it for if they are raiding the sky base. Cons: if you are getting raided on the sky base, someone might accidentally knock you off. B, you cannot set any like farms or anything to get a lot of money. And C is that even though you do have a lot of stuff to store your base, it's just going to make you get a lot more poor if your base does get raided. So, yeah. So, that is the sky base. Now, we're going to move on to a sky vault. Now, a vault is supposed to be small. A vault is supposed to be small where it will not have to, and you only want to store your kind of important stuff in there. Now, it wants to be small so people will try and overlook it or just completely ignore it because they're like, that's pretty small. There's only a couple. So, yeah, this is how a sky vault would be like because it's pretty small. People, by the way, glass does not show a shadow, so glass is another good thing. I'm using this texture pack because of the glass. Now you want them to make it overlook it, so because they're like, this thing it only has 8 chests, so why in the world would we go for that one? Or completely ignore it, which is what I was mentioning there. So this is where you would store all your good stuff in. So like, for example, if I want to throw that in, I could throw that in, but I'm not going to make you throw that in because that's going to be the reason why. But anyway, so this is what a vault looks like. It would be pretty small, pretty confined, and basically it would help, and this is where you store all your good stuff. And you do not want to store every single thing in your sky base, your actual sky base, because that's just going to be really bad. So, yeah. So actually, I think it would be a good idea now, because you guys already probably saw it a lot, to cover a farm base. Now, a farm base you do not want to put in your base. That's what I think is a fact. You do not want to put a farm base in your base. Now, I am doing a surface base. Now, when I made a farm base in the Archon, I made a surface base. Now, if you want to make a farm on something that it sells for a lot of money, but it won't sell at at the same time it will sell a bit, but it won't sell for a lot. So what I'm saying is that people could tend to basically just completely ignore it out of the hole because they won't sell for that much. And also it's kind of small, but you can make it as big as you want. So yeah, so just cover in obsidian, make it a little bit small, and yeah, you should be good. And also, if you're making this underground, the reason why you don't want to put it right next to your base, or even if you are going to make a sky base, which is like in Killed or something. If you are going to make a sky base or an underground base, don't put this right next to your base because these things tend to be pretty big. And if they're pretty big, someone can be easily just digging and digging and digging and digging, maybe like doing like a strip mine or something like that, and then they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, this is a huge farm right here, and they'll find your base and they'll probably raid it. So also what you want to do is you just want to do /fclaim, make sure you claim it. That's only on factions, so sorry about the unknown command thing, but that's only on factions because we have buckets now. I don't even know if I can do that. Okay, but anyway, so that's what a farm base would be like. Keep it far away from your base and not in your base so you won't get raided that much. Alright, so this one is the underground base, I believe. So, pros, get a lot of money. Cons, they can be pretty hard to do and they can take a lot of time. But anyway, that's basically it. But anyway, so here's a home base, underground base. So here's an underground base. Now, an underground base, it's kind of like a sky base. You have loads and loads of chests to go store a lot of your stuff in. You have your enchanting tables, you have your anvil, and technically it can be as big as you want. Now, you can see how I have glowstone on top. That's really useful because what I have seen is, even though they're probably pretty new players at the game, I've seen a lot of people never go on the top chest because they think that it's gonna be going bad. But if you want to make it so that they will not, if you want to make it so it will be a lot harder to do, what you would probably want to take is you would want to take a redstone block, an iron lamp, and probably do it that way. But you can't open the chest that way, but you can open the chest this way. And I kind of like that because I can technically fool a lot of players. Now, the pros about this, you can store a lot of stuff, and make sure the bases are covered by obsidian, by the way, too. You can store a lot of stuff in it. You have all the stuff you pretty much need for it. You have your things, you have your enchanting room, you have your chest, you have your chest, you have your chest, you have your chest. The cons. Same thing like Skybase. If this base does get raided and you're going a lot of stuff in it, you're going to become pretty poor straight from the get-go. And another con, X-rayers. Now, I know that sounds weird for being me, because I'm like, don't X-rayers get banned from the server? Well, sometimes the server doesn't mind X-rayers. And X-rayers can very easily find your base because the base is so big. Now I'm not trying to say that the base being big is a bad idea. It's just that taking this with all the stuff in it, it's so big they can easily find it. And also they can find your name if you're standing in it AFK or something. In fact, you can even have a mob grinder here if you want to, but yeah, for that. But anyway, so that's basically what I'm trying to say. They can easily find you if you are going in your base, AFK, waiting for mobs to spawn or anything, and they can easily get through it with X-ray and steal all your stuff, and you can become very bad right from the get-go, and that. Now, obviously an underground base is very cool, and it can be very protected, and you can also even cover it in water if you want to make it a little more protective and a little bit harder to raid. Okay, now here's the next one. Here's an underground vault. Now, an underground vault is very small. Now, this is extremely small. Now, it has lots of chests for you to store all your important stuff in it. And just like the sky base, you want to make it smaller so someone will either completely ignore it or overlook it. And this is where you want to store, again, all your important stuff and make it so small. Now, the only problem is it's harder to get it X-rayed. That's another problem. That's another good thing. But it's harder to raid these bases that are vaults rather than a sky vault, because sky vaults, you know, they have to TNT cannon through the sky and everything. But because obsidian and stuff can break in 3 hits and stuff, that's why I did it. So whenever I make a sky vault, I actually had 3 layers of obsidian around it. 3 layers thick of obsidian, just so I can be well protected and I can get my stuff out and go to my sky vault or my sky base or the underground base, even though I'd much rather go to my sky base by now. But yeah, so that's basically that base. You just want to keep it nice and small so people will overlook it and everything. And overall, it's a very good vault and everything. So those are going to be the things that I'm going to be reviewing today. But, also, if you want to have a good oversize, you know what, I might as well just add that. This over here is what you would call a well-protected base. Let's just go turn up my FOV. Alright. That thing's surrounded by water right there. That is what you would call a good protected base. It's surrounded by obsidian and surrounded by water, so a guy with TNT can't go in. Cons, it's very vulnerable. It's very easy to get and see, and people can always just hybrid cannon into it, which is very bad. So yeah. Now, time for my opinion's sake. Of all of these bases, which ones would I prefer the most? Well, I would always definitely have a farm base. I'll always definitely have a farm base, because that way I can get money, and if I do get raided and everything, I will always have a chance to restart and repay for everything. So definitely have a farm base. But when it comes to underground bases and sky bases, which one would I rather have? Well, wait, what the heck? Is that a shadow? It's a freaking shadow, guys. I don't know what's going on with that. Oh, well, it looks like you can't see it in the daylight, which is pretty cool. But anyway, I would rather have a sky base. Well, I would rather have a sky base because a sky base is a lot more, I would say, protected and so much harder to find and raid. And if someone eventually does find it, it's really hard to raid because they can easily get knocked off or everything. Now, in a little bit, I will tell you guys how to raid bases. I'll show you guys how to raid bases, how to find these bases. And yeah, I see you in those kind of episodes and everything. So I would prefer sky bases because they're a lot harder to find and they're a lot harder to raid, and they can kind of get stored more stuff in rather than these, and they can't get X-rayed, and these ones can't. And farm bases, most people just completely ignore it in my case because, you know, it's really small and it's clearly in the wild. But yeah. So anyway, this is the faction guide video of all the type of faction bases. I will be making a hive raid video too. And yeah, so this is going to be the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out. See you next time.